Boris Skid Arakid Pokemon, it's Mez, and welcome to another of my Sasuke World Cup 2024 thoughts video. Last time we covered the third stage, where the 4 remaining teams compete to test their upper body and grip strength and earn as many points as possible in hopes to advance to the final stage. The performances we witnessed were incredible to watch, but the extremely annoying buffed Cliff Dimension took out most of the competitors and proved to separate the best of the best. Also, the Japanese had a slow rough start and ended up being at the bottom for the most part, potentially resulting in a huge upset for this stage. But in the end, Japan Red's captain Yusuke Morimoto produced a breathtaking comeback performance and carried his team out of the trenches to advance to the final stage. Team USA also joins them, having produced dominant Stage 3 performances throughout, meaning that despite their splendid efforts, we had to say goodbye to Team Japan Blue and Team Australia. Now there are 2 teams left, the best of the bunch, where they take on the final stage, testing a competitor's extreme scaling agility to get to the top as quickly as possible. Which competitors will be chosen to take on the final stage? Who will scale to the top of the tower in the fastest time to win the inaugural Sasuke World Cup for their team? Stay tuned as we go through my thoughts and analysis on the final stage. So this is it. We finally come to the final stage after a 1.5-year hiatus. But this is an international tournament, so things will work differently here. I'm sure if you have watched many past international tournaments around the world, you probably would guess how this version of the final stage works, right? More or less. Here's how the final stage format works. Each of the 2 remaining teams must choose 1 representative to take on the mother of all Mount Midoriyamas. The chosen ones must scale this tower by completing 3 obstacles and hit the buzzer at the top to produce a fast time for their team. The competitor who reaches the top in the fastest time will win the inaugural Sasuke World Cup tournament for their team. And of course, if no competitor was able to reach the top via falling, the furthest fastest will take home the crown. So who are the ones chosen by their team to take on the final stage, you ask? Well, starting with Team USA, they've picked Sean Bryan, a logical choice since he was rested in the past 2 stages for this occasion. All the other members have the potential to climb the final stage, and it certainly would be a dream come true for them to scale to the top and experience that euphoric feeling, achieving the highest achievement any ninja would dream to have, and that is Kanzen Seiha, the Japanese word for total victory, the same feeling that 4 Japanese men did before this tournament happened. If you ask me who I would have rather chosen in terms of form, it's a close one between Daniel Gill and RJ Roman, but if I had to choose one, I would go with RJ. I think he's still mentally heartbroken from that dreadful third stage performance, which is the one reason he backed out this opportunity to get to the top and get that euphoric feeling of achieving total victory, having come close to it back home in seasons 14 and 15. And even though Daniel achieved total victory back home in season 15, the injury he suffered back in stage 1 prevented that opportunity for yet another walking wounded, gutsy performance for his team. I also would have loved to see Joe try out on this stage, having never completed stage 3 in his career, and getting to the top would be an honour after so many years competing back home. And for team captain Jessie, this could have broken the Sasuke viewership and the record books for being the first woman to scale the final stage tower. It would have been nice to have a female heat on that particular stage, but at the end of the day, this is a competition, and you have to choose the member most likely in form to take on that tower, and that was Sean Bryan. Sean did do his homework and practice those obstacles in the build up to this competition, so let's see if his diligence pays off, especially on the 15 level Salmon Ladder, to which he was twice the champion of the Super Salmon Ladder Skills competition back home. So which team member of Japan Red will face off against Sean? Well, 3 of them have attempted the final stage 2 tournaments ago, but only one performance stood out better than the other 2. That's right, their captain, Yusuke Morimoto. Yeah, that was a unanimous choice for Yusuke to take on that version of the final stage again, having come so close to achieving total victory a 3rd time by a fraction of a second. Now, he just did a heavily inspired comeback 3rd stage performance to carry his team to this stage, so the fatigue on his arms and upper body might be a disadvantage and could be costly for his country to finally win an international tournament. With the chosen representatives discussed, it's double Super Salmon Ladder Skills champion Sean Bryan from the US of A versus 2-time Grand Champion and the strongest ace of Japan, Yusuke Morimoto. Who will win this final stage showdown for their country? Let's review the results. First to take on the final stage is Team USA's Sean Bryan. Wait, quick question for anyone to make guesses or assumptions. How was the order chosen? Through coin toss? Highest ranking in stage 3 goes first? or let Yusuke go last because he just did the third stage, or predictably thinking he could clear the stage and win the tournament. Either way, as mentioned before, Sean has done practice with those obstacles back home and watched a load of clips on how Yusuke did it back in Sasuke 40. He is hoping to replicate that performance and bring home a solid, fast time for his team. Well, to many of us as expected, no offense, but he was slow, careful and steady throughout the obstacles. Bear in mind this is a time trial, not a usual race to get to the top by an allocated time. So one slip up via hasty movements and that would be one heartbreaking final stage run to witness. In the end, I was glad that Sean didn't fall during his ascent. He was solid throughout his run, especially his flawless movements on the 15 level salmon ladder, despite the distance between rungs a bit further than it is back home. He was able to reach the top with a time of 63.65 seconds. I know for many foreign ninjas and ninja fans like me who have watched Sasuke for a long time, especially the earlier tournaments, climbing to the top of Mount Midoriyama at the birthplace of ninja, Japan, would be a dream. Sean was the lucky one to have this opportunity and managed to get to the top, achieving his dream of total victory and soak in all the emotions and experience like the 4 Japanese men before him did. Will his time be fast enough to win his team the coveted position of being the first Sasuke World Cup champions? We'll see. Now, it's Yusuke's turn. He was lucky to go second to rest and recover a little more from his third stage heroics. Let's see if this Japan's ace has a little more energy left to take on the final stage and bring home that much needed gold for his team. Now, I can tell you that unlike his previous final stage attempt, he was kinda slower than we thought it was, but thanks to his experience, he was able to scale the speed climb and the 15 level salmon ladder with pace, precision and composure. Now the rope climb stands between him and the finish line. We know he has done the final stage 5 times, achieving total victory on 2 occasions. What time did he get at the end? Drumroll please. 50.72 seconds, a faster time than Sean. That means Team Japan Red are the first Sasuke World Cup champions. Before I get into detail of what we've just witnessed, let's talk about Team USA's performance at the World Cup stage. I certainly wasn't wrong by predicting they will make it to at least stage 3 due to their many years of ninja experience and some fantastic talent within those competitors. But my, they've certainly encountered a dark patch on the first stage during their road to the finals. Those shocking fails from RJ Roman and Joe Morosky, as well as Sean Bryan's slow clear, were certainly at risk being eliminated so early in the tournament, and that would have been a heartbreaking moment to witness and a foolish way to go out of this competition. But Jessie Graf's top veteran-like performance for the women's heat and Daniel Gill's push to the end after his injury helped their country scrape past the first stage by the skin of their teeth. Luckily in stage 2, RJ and Ro redeemed themselves with fast spider climbs for their team to advance to stage 3 where they really showed their true colours. Other than RJ's unexpected early fail, the other 3 dominated that stage, earning a lot of points by reaching the cliff dimension. And even though all 3 failed at that obstacle, Daniel and Joe's clean first transition was fascinating to watch, proving that it is still possible for foreigners to nail the 180-degree cliff jump technique on a moving ledge. Now, even though they didn't win this competition, Sean Bryan, the much rested and healthier competitor than his teammates on the final stage, gave a phenomenal performance he will certainly cherish in his ninja career forever. Hopefully this will not be the last time we get to see them on the Sasuke course. It was a fantastic tournament for Team USA, and they all should be proud of themselves and their final results at the end. GG! Now a talk on the newly crowned Sasuke World Cup champions. A huge congratulations to Team Japan Red on winning this tournament. They thoroughly deserved it. My prediction was right. I knew they were going to win the tournament. When I saw the other teams and the competitor list, they all had the potential to win. But Team Japan Red are too strong at every aspect of each stage, and they still would win if they are a standalone Japanese team. They know this was their home turf, that they cannot disappoint their Japanese viewers, so the pressure was definitely on. Also, this was a perfect opportunity to finally win a coveted international trophy they've long hunted for after 11 years where their international performance outside of Japan were painful to watch. To summarize their performances during this tournament, their experience and talent showed when they came out on top for the first 2 stages. However, in stage 3, Keitaro's sudden early failure, as well as Ayano and Yoshi's lackluster performances, almost came to a sudden, embarrassing end at the bottom. But Yusuke, the GOAT of Sasuke, proved that he is the best competitor of the tournament with one heck of a performance, sending his team to the finals. He even continued to prove his worth, even with a bit of fatigue and pain to his body, by climbing the final stage with pace, experience and composure to produce a faster time and achieve that long-awaited international trophy he has long dreamed since he first competed at an international tournament 10 years ago. I know it would take a lot of training and diligence to try and win future international tournaments abroad, but savor this bittersweet moment. You are the Sasuke World Cup champions. All 5 have made fantastic contributions to this triumph, and you've certainly made your country proud too. GG! So what did I think about this final stage duel? Well, considering the 2 teams that were left in the competition, it was pretty obvious who was going to win and the representatives that were chosen. This stage is pretty much called the Sasuke stage, that he almost achieved his 3rd total victory 2 tournaments ago on that current version of the final stage, and it was evident he was able to compose himself and pace through the obstacles at a faster time that resulted in a World Cup triumph for his team. It may have been a euphoric moment for a Japanese team to finally win an international tournament for once, but I felt a little disappointed that not a single one of Yusuke's teammates, particularly the other guys of Team Japan Red, would like to take up the opportunity to have a crack on that intimidating final stage tower. It definitely would have been nice to see either Tada, Keitaro, Yoshi, or even Ayano take their time during their climb, and if successful, experience what the top of the tower is like, as they may not be able to reach that sort of climax in future normal Sasuke competitions. I'm sure you can relate to many foreign competitors who had a crack on the final stage tower in various countries via international or skills, and had a perfect moment to savor what being on top of the tower is like, despite having never achieved total victory during the regular season. But at the end of the day, it is a competition that you have to put the most competent, strong player to take on a huge ascent and hopefully clock in a fast time to win the whole competition for your team. Now, of course, this does come to the end of my Sasuke World Cup 2024 analysis, but if I were to come up with my summarizing thoughts of this competition, I mean, it was a great tournament to watch. It was certainly long overdue to have an international tournament in Japan, and if it wasn't for the global shutdown, it kinda would have happened much earlier than that. All the competitors both in Japan and around the world chosen for this special occasion were justifiable picks, and everyone showcased their best talents in hope to bring home glory for their respective teams. Especially superhuman moments that we rarely see during regular Sasuke tournaments, you name them. If I was to give a rating out of 10, I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. Obviously, no special tournament can ever be perfect, especially if it's the first time doing it. If I said it was perfect, I would be lying. The positives I would take watching that competition is the incredible format and how it works for each stage, the new second stage spider climb dueling races, the results at the end, as well as the extraordinary amount of competitiveness against others, showing that even the top competitors can falter for their team and unexpectedly go out for a variety of reasons. For the negatives, obviously the number of digests or fast forwarded runs, which take away a lot of tension and drama to the competition, as well as the number of victims taken out by the cliff dimension, with Yusuke being the only person to clear that obstacle. I'd rather see more competitors try to solve the burst conundrum sooner rather than later. Lastly, would I see this type of tournament run in the near future? Heck yes! I would like to see more representatives from around the world take on the mother of all Mount Midoriyamas, such as the UK, Vietnam, and many other countries that has ninja as a popular sport. As nationally televised ninja competitions are becoming more obsolete around the world, I would like to see more international tournaments held in Japan, but on the World Cup side, maybe every 4 years, like how the Olympics and World Cup are held. In my opinion, I would like to see a tournament where only 100 foreign athletes compete, while the Japanese veterans would be like some sort of coach, pundit, or be part of the commentary to witness those competitors showcase their skills from around the world. And yeah, that pretty much covers my thoughts on this competition, as well as my feedback on how the next international tournament could become better than this one. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before I end this video, what are your thoughts on the final stage of this tournament overall? How did you feel seeing Japan finally win an international tournament? What are your thoughts on this World Cup tournament as a whole, and what improvements would you make? If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I do appreciate it. More videos like this to come as my YouTube journey goes on and on. This is probably the most enjoyable Sasuke tournament I've ever watched.